Should judges follow the law or pursue justice? Hi everyone, today I'd like to discuss one of the most fundamental questions in legal philosophy. Should judges strictly follow the law, or should they pursue justice even when the law seems unfair? In every society, judges are expected to resolve disputes fairly and consistently. Most legal systems require judges to interpret and apply statutes enacted by the legislature. This principle is closely related to the rule of law. If judges simply follow their own personal sense of justice, similar cases might produce very different outcomes. Legal certainty would disappear, and citizens would no longer be able to predict how the law would be applied. From this perspective, judges should follow the law as written. If the law is unfair, it is the responsibility of the legislature, not the judiciary, to change it. Supporters of this view argue that democracy requires judges to respect laws enacted by elected representatives. However, others believe that strict obedience to the law is not always morally acceptable. History contains many examples of laws that were legally valid but deeply unjust. In some countries, discriminatory laws once denied people equal rights because of their race or gender. If judges had applied those laws mechanically, they would have reinforced justice rather than corrected it. Supporters of judicial discretion argue that the ultimate purpose of law is justice. Therefore, judges should interpret legal rules in light of constitutional principles such as equality, human dignity, and fundamental rights. Another important issue concerns judicial activism. If judges interpret the law too broadly, they may effectively create new laws instead of merely applying existing ones. Critics argue that this undermines democratic legitimacy because unelected judges begin making decisions that should belong to elected lawmakers. On the other hand, if judges interpret statutes too narrowly, they may fail to protect individuals when legislation is outdated or incomplete. In my opinion, judges should begin with the text of the law. Legal certainty and democratic legitimacy are essential. However, when statutes are ambiguous or conflict with constitutional values, judges should interpret them in a way that best protects justice, equality, and fundamental rights. The judiciary should neither replace the legislature nor ignore the principles on which the legal system is built. Ultimately, the law exists to serve society. A legal system must provide both predictability and fairness. Balancing these two goals is one of the greatest challenges facing every judge. So here's my question for you. If a judge believes that applying the law exactly as written would produce a clearly unjust result, should the judge follow the law or seek a more just interpretation? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for listening. See you next time.